year. We are in the middle of second year, that is jet transformation. Jet transformation. Okay, in the previous class we have completed the inverse jet transformations. That means three different inverse jet transformations we consider with. One is partial fraction method, power series method or long division method, and residual method. Three different methods we have discussed and we have seen plenty problems. We have done plenty number of problems based upon these three methods. Okay. In the last class itself we have started this next topic, that is theorems of jet transform. Okay. And this theorems of jet transform is also very important, which is repeatedly asked in your university previous question papers. Okay. So for this today's class we will see the different theorems or the properties of the jet transforms which are going to be happening. All these theorems are well known to you. Why? Because these are already studied by you in your previous semester in the subject signals and systems. So without any delay, let's start the class for today. Okay. So the theorems of the jet transform are addition and subtraction theorem or property, multiplication by a constant, complex translation theorem, initial value theorem and final value theorem, shifting theorem and real convolution theorem. So in these all theorems, the initial value theorem and final value theorem are very important. Why? Because while observing the previous university question papers, I have came to note about the 2 marks questions. So in the 2 marks questions, they just given the problems regarding to the initial value theorem and final value theorem, and also asked us to discuss the statements of initial value theorem and final value theorem. Okay, so in all these theorems or properties, the initial value theorem and final value theorem are very important. Okay, so the first property is addition and subtraction property. So coming to the statement of the problem, so the statement of this particular property, if f1 of t or f2 of t are the two different functions, and let us suppose f1 of z and f2 of z are the z transform of these functions respectively, then then a z transform for the function f1 of t plus or minus f2 of t can be equals to f1 of g plus or minus f2 of z. f1 of z plus or minus f2 of z. So in this fashion, coming for the 2, let us consider this one f1 of z. The z transformation for f1 of t is nothing but f1 of z, and z transformation for f2 of t is nothing but the f2 of z. So based upon the basic definition, we are going to be written that as using the one-sided z transform, sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f1 of kt into z power minus k and f2 of kt into z power minus k. So, so therefore, the Z transform for the function f1 of t plus or minus f2 of t is equal to sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f1 of kt plus or minus f2 of kt into z power minus k. So just splitting this particular equation, just splitting this particular equation, we can get sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f1 of kt into z power minus k plus or minus sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f2 of kt into z power minus k. So this particular equation can be simultaneously replaced as f1 of z plus or minus f2 of z. Why? Because this particular value is nothing but f1 of z and this particular value is nothing but f2 of z. Therefore, finally, we are going to evaluate the statement, that is the transformation of f1 of t plus or minus f2 of t is equal to f1 of z plus or minus f2. This is the first theorem. our first property of the Z transform. Now we are going to step into the second property or theorem, that is multiplication by a constant. Multiplication by a constant means here, if f of t is supposed to be a function, if a is going to be multiplied, let us suppose this particular a, small a, is a constant value, is a constant value. Therefore, the Z transform of a function which is going to be multiplied. Therefore, coming to the statement, if f of t is a function, if f of t is a function, if f of t is a function of Z transformation, then Z transform of a into f of t is equal to a into f of t. Then Z transform of a into f of t is equal to a into f of t. That means if a function f of t is multiplied with a constant a, the Z transformation for this function is also going to be multiplied with the same constant. If a is going to be multiplied with the function f of t, the same output Z transform f of z is also going to be multiplied with constant a. Okay, so coming for the proof, if f of z is nothing but the Z transformation of f of t, and it can be written as sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f of kt into z power minus k. So let us suppose if the Z transform of a function is going to be multiplied with a constant a, therefore, based upon the definition, we can return sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity a into f of kt into z power minus k. Separating this particular a value, that means replacing this particular a value here, replacing the a value here. Therefore, a into sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f of kt into z power minus k. This function is nothing but f of z. Therefore, it can be written as a into. So finally, we are going to conclude that the transform of a function, that means the multiplication by a constant z of at is equal to a into f of z. A into. Okay. This is the second theorem we have discussed, and we are going into the third theorem, that is complex translation theorem. Complex translation theorem means a complex value is going to be multiplied with a function f of t. Let us suppose if a function is having a value of plus or minus 80, if that particular transformation, if a z transform is applied for that function, the e power plus or minus 80 is going to be converted into e power minus plus 80. Just as the sign values are going to be interchanged. Sign values are going to be translated. Translation means the name changing, changing, changing from one to another. Translation main meaning is the translator of a language is nothing but one language to the another language. In the same fashion, the translation of plus or minus must be minus. The translation is nothing but the change of signals from plus or minus to the minus. Okay. So coming to the statement, if f of t is a function of z transform, which is having a z transform of f of z, then Z transformation of a function e power plus or minus 80 into f of t is nothing but f of z into e power minus plus 80. Minus plus. So, based upon the definition, that is nothing but f of z is equal to z transformation of f of t. It is nothing but simply sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f of kt into z power. Therefore, a Z transformation for the function e power plus or minus 80 into f of t is equal to sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity e power plus or minus 80 into f of kt into z power minus k. So separating this particular k value here itself and here also, we are going to get sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f of kt into e power minus plus kt into 80 whole power minus k, whole power minus k into z power minus k. So let us take this particular value as a separated one, consider this particular value as z1. Yes, z1. We are going to get the Laplace transformation of e power plus or minus ft into f of t is equal to sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f of kt into z1 power z1 power. That is nothing but it can be written as f of z, f of z1. That means it is nothing but the z transform of a function z1 of t. Therefore, it can be written as f1 of z1. What is z1 here? We have taken that particular value as z into e power minus plus e. So just substitute that value in z1, we are going to get f of z into e power minus plus e. So finally we are going to conclude that the z transformation of a function e power plus or minus at into f of t is nothing but f of z into e power minus plus is nothing but the complex transformation. So the complex translation theorem. That means here this is the translation. Translation means here plus or minus 8 is going to be converted into minus plus. Okay. So now we are going to the next one, that is initial value theorem and final value theorem. Very important. Here simple one. It is nothing but a simple one. Initial value theorem is going to be represented as f of 0 and final value theorem is going to be represented as f of infinity. F of infinity. Okay. Therefore, while discussing about the initial value theorem, if f of t is a function which is having a z transform of f of z, then f of 0 is equal to, that is initial value theorem, f of 0 is equal to limit z tends to infinity f of z. Limit z tends to infinity into f of z. Initial value theorem is nothing but limit z tends to infinity f of z. That means you have to place the infinity value in finite f of z. Finite f of z. Okay. While discussing about this is about the initial value theorem, we have to substitute the value of z as infinity in f of z. While discussing about the final value theorem, if f of t is a function of a z transform f of z, then f of infinity is nothing but the final value theorem. So f of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1 into z minus 1 into f of z. Limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into f of z. That means f of z has to be multiplied with z minus 1 and the whole value is going to be substituted with 1. Here, in initial value theorem, just in f of z, we have to substitute the z value is equal to infinity. Whereas, in case of the final value theorem, that means in order to obtain f of infinity, we have to multiply the f of z value with z minus 1 and the whole function, in that whole function, just substitute, we need to substitute the value of z is equal to 1. Z is equal to 1. Okay, simple. This is about the initial value theorem, substitution of infinity value and substitution of in case of initial and final value. Okay, simple one. It can be repeatedly asked in for 2 marks. For 2 marks. So now we are going for the next one, that is the shifting theorem. Okay, shifting theorem. So in case of the shifting theorem, we are going to discuss about the right shifting theorem and left shifting theorem. Right shift and left shift. That means while shifting to the negative part and while moving for the positive part. Okay. So right shift is also called as the time delay. Why? Because it is going to be shifted to the positive. Okay. So for that one, if f of t is a function, then the z transform of that particular function f of t is nothing but f of z. Then the z transform of the function f of t shifted to the right by nt. Shifted to the right by nt, where n is a positive integer. Then Z transform of function f of t minus nt into step function es of t minus nt is equal to z power minus n into f of t. Z power minus n into f of t. That means with the definition of the Z transform, with the definition of the Z transform, the Z transform of a function f of t minus nt us of t minus nt can be represented as sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f of kt. That means t has to be replaced with k into capital T, f of kt minus nt into z power z power. So let us suppose this particular function, let us suppose this particular function is going to be multiplied with z power minus n and z power plus. So therefore, just multiply this one z power minus n and z power n. Therefore, z power minus n into sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f of kt into nt, so kt minus nt into z power minus k plus minus k plus 1. That means adding the powers. As the bases are equal, we need to add the powers. Therefore, sigma, sorry, z power minus n into sigma k is equal to n to infinity. So I think the limits has to be changed. Therefore, k is equal to n to infinity f of k minus n into t into z power minus k minus. So this particular equation can be represented as, that means let's substitute the value of k minus n is equal to p. K minus n is equal to, therefore the final function can be represented as, final function can be represented as z power minus n into f of z power minus n into f of z power minus n into f of z. That is nothing but, so simply, if a function, we are having a function f of p minus 2. Let us suppose if a function we are having f of p minus 2, it is can be represented as, simply z power minus 2 into f of z. Z power minus 2 into simply nothing but right shifting and left shifting. Left shifting means, okay. So let us suppose if a function we are having f of p minus 2 or p minus 3 or p minus 4, whatever may be, it can be represented as z power minus 2 into f of t. Or else if a function we are having, it is nothing but f of p plus 2, it can be represented as z power 2 into f, z power 2 into, it is nothing but simply the shifting, whether it will be a right shifting or, okay, whatever the value of the constant after t, whether it may be a negative or positive, it can be represented as a power of z in final. Okay, so this is about the right shifting, and immediately we are going to discuss about the left shifting. And the right shifting is also called as the time delay, and the left shift is also called as time advance. Time advance. Simply, it is nothing but in the previous statement we have discussed about f of t minus nt. Here we have to discuss about f of t plus nt. T plus nt. Therefore, the Z transformation for a function f of t plus nt into us of t plus nt is equal to z power n into f of z minus sigma k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 f of kt into z power minus. Okay. simply just substituting the values of n, and we are going to be multiplied with z power plus n and z power minus n, and we are finally getting the value z power n into f of z, z power n into f of z. This remaining value we will discuss in later. We will discuss later. It is nothing but positive value. Positive value is going to be appear. The final value is z power n, or if negative value is going to be there, the final value must be z power minus n into f. Okay? This is about the shifting property, and let us discuss about the convolution property. Convolution property of the Z transform. Convolution property of the Z transform. That means if the functions that presenting this convolution theory, two different functions has to be presented. If two functions are nothing but f1 of t and f2 of t, then the Z transform of the particular functions f1 of t and f2 of t are nothing but f1 of z and f2 of z. f1 of z and f2 of z. Then, then the convolution property f1 of z and f2 of z can be taken as sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f1 of nt into f2 of kt minus n. Therefore, from the definition, let us suppose the Z transform for the function sigma k is equal to n is equal to 0 to infinity. f1 of nt into f2 of kt minus nt can be represented as sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity, and the function that function is sigma n is equal to 0 to k f1 of kt into f2 of kt minus nt into z power minus z power. So placing these summing values side by side, we can represent we can represent that means we can take this particular values from 0 to infinity. That means this particular values f1 of kt and f2 of kt are equals to 0. That means the k value is always less than 0. Therefore, the final values are going to be changed as sigma m plus n is equal to 0 to infinity is nothing but sigma n is equal to 0 to infinity f1 of nt into f2 of nt can be taken as two different functions. That is sigma n is equal to 0 to infinity f1 of nt into z power minus n, and sigma m is equal to 0 to infinity f2 of nt into z power minus n. That means the Z transformation for a function f1 of t into f2 of t can be taken as f1 of z conjugate with f2 of z. Conjugate with f2 of z. The Z transformation for a function f1 of t into f2 of t can be taken as f1 of z conjugated multiplied with f2 of z. This is about the convolution. Convolution. And next one is partial differentiation theorem. Partial differentiation theorem. It is nothing but a simple statement. Let the Z transform of a function. F1 of t comma a. F1 of t comma a. That means the Z transform of a function f1 of f of t comma a is nothing but f of z comma a. Then the Z transform of a function, that is the partial derivative of a function f of t comma a, can be taken as that means the Z transformation of a function, that means the partial differentiation dou divided by dou a of f of t comma a is equal to dou by dou a of f of z comma a. Dou by dou a of f of z comma a. So from the definition of the Z transform, we are going to take the Z transform of differentiation, partial differentiation, dou divided by dou a is equal to sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity dou by dou a of f of kt into a into z power minus. So just replacing this particular differentiation part here, can be represented as sigma dou divided by dou a into sigma k is equal to 0 to infinity f of kt into a. So f of kt minus comma a into z power minus k. And simply it can be represented as dou by dou a of f of z comma. That means the F transformation for a differentiation function dou by dou a of f of t comma a represented as can be represented as dou by dou a of f of z, dou by dou a of f of z comma. Okay. These are the 8 differentiations or 8 different theorems or properties of the Z transform. Properties of the Z transform. Addition and subtraction, multiplication by a constant, shifting theorem, right shift and left shift, initial value theorem, final value theorem, convolution theorem, and partial differentiation theorem. 8 different theorems, very very important, which is asked in your previous university question papers. Okay, so with this, we have completed the theorems of the Z transform. So let us discuss about the different problems regarding to the initial value theorem and final value. Let us discuss about different problems regarding to the initial value theorem and final value. Okay, these are very very important. I have seen in the previous university question papers. Uh, it can be asked for both 7 marks and 2 marks also. In some problems, it is asked for 4 marks. 4 marks, depending upon the weightage of the question. Okay. So let us discuss about that one. The problems regarding to the initial value theorem and final. Okay. So this is the statement of the problem. Find the initial value and final value for the function. Find the initial value and final value for the function f of z is equal to 4z cube minus 5z square plus 8z whole divided by z minus 1 into z minus 0.5 whole square. 4z cube minus 5z square plus 8z divided by z minus 1 into z minus 0.5 whole square. Initial value theorem is represented by f of 0. F of 0 is we have to place or we have to substitute the value of z is equal to infinity in f of z. Therefore, initial value theorem can be taken as f of 0 is equal to limit z tends to infinity into f of z. That is, limit z tends to infinity 4z cube minus 5z square plus 8z divided by z minus 1 into z minus 0.5 whole square. 0.5 whole square. So, z tends to infinity means 1 by z tends to infinity means 1 by z tends to 0. So, just taking the common value as z cube in numerator and denominator, and cancelling this z cube terms, taking common values of z cube in the numerator and denominator, and cancelling them, we are going to get 4 minus 3z 4 minus 5 by z plus 8 by z square. 4 minus 5 by z plus 8 by z square into divided by 1 by 1 minus z into 1 by 1 minus 0.5 whole divided by z whole square. So just substituting the value of 1 by z is equal to 0 we are going to get 4 minus 0 plus 0 divided by 1 minus 0 into 1 minus 0. That is nothing but we are going to get the value of f of 0, that is initial value theorem as 4. Initial value theorem as 4. Okay, just substituting the value of z is equal to infinity or 1 by z is equal to 0. 1 by z is equal to 0. Now coming about the final value theorem, final value function, That is nothing but f of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into f of z, z minus 1 into f of z. That means limit z tends to 1 can be taken as z minus 1 into f of z. Limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into f of z. What is f of z here? 4z cube minus 5z square plus 8z divided by z minus 1 into z minus 0.5 whole square. So cancellation of this particular terms, two terms, z minus 1, we are going to get limit z tends to 1, 4z cube minus 5z square plus 8z divided by z minus 0.5 whole square. So just substitute the value of 1 in z. Substitute the value of z as 1. Therefore, 4 minus 5 plus 8 divided by 1 minus 0.5 whole square is nothing but 7 divided by 0.5 whole square. It is nothing but 20. It is something. It is something about 28 or 20 here. 28 or 20. Okay. In case of the final value theorem, f of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 has to be multiplied with f of z, and substitute the value of z is equal to 1 in initial or final value. Whereas in case of the initial value theorem, we have to substitute the value of z is equal to 2. Okay. In the same fashion, let us discuss the remaining problems also. That is, find the final value for the function f of z is equal to z square plus 2z plus 1 divided by z cube plus 3z square plus 3z plus 1. Z square plus 2z plus 1 divided by z cube plus 3z square plus 3z plus 1. Okay. So final value theorem can be taken as f of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into f of z minus 1 into f of z. Limit z tends to 1 into z minus 1 into f of z. Therefore, limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 has to be multiplied with f of z. Simply we are going to get z minus 1 into z plus 1 whole square divided by z plus 1 whole. So just substitute the value of z is equal to 1 here. Z is equal to 1 here. The function is finally terminated as 0. Why? Because 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, the final value of the function is 0. Okay. Therefore, next, next, find the final value for g of z is equal to dz into 1 minus e power at divided by z minus 1 into z minus e power at. Z minus 1 into z minus e power at. Dz into 1 minus e power at divided by z minus 1 into z minus e power. Therefore, the final value of the function g of z is equal to f of infinity, that is equal to limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into g of z, z minus 1 into g of z. Therefore, limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into f of z value is dz into 1 minus e power at divided by z minus 1 into z minus e power. Okay, just cancelling this particular terms, two times z minus 1, z minus 1 and z minus 1. We are getting limit z tends to 1, dz divided by, dz into 1 minus e power at whole divided by z minus e power at. So just substituting the value of z is equal to 1, we are getting b into 1 into 1 minus e power at 1 divided by 1 minus e power 8. So cancelling of these particular terms, 1 minus e power 80 and 1 minus e power 80. We are just getting the value of final value theorem of the function g of z is equal to. Okay. In the similar fashion, Let us discuss this problem also. Find the final value for the function f of z is equal to 2.4 into z divided by z minus 0.5 into z plus 0.2 into z minus 1. So coming about the definition of the final value theorem, f of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into f of z. So z minus 1 has to be multiplied with the function f of z. So cancelling of these particular terms, z minus 1 and z minus 1, and just substituting the value of z is equal to 1, we are getting 2.4 into 1 divided by 1 minus zero point 0.5 into 1 plus 1. So after that, the finally we are going to get the final value of the function f of z is equal to 4 for this problem, and the final value of the function g of z is nothing but small. Okay, these are the two problems regarding with the final value. Final value. Okay, so in the similar fashion, let us discuss two more problems. Two more problems. So this is the problem. Statement of the problem. Find the final value of y of z is equal to z divided by z plus 2 plus 1 by z plus 1 by 2 into z divided by z minus 1. Therefore, it can be from the definition of the final value theorem that y of z has to be multiplied with z minus 1, and we have to apply the limit, that is z tends to 1. Therefore, just substituting that value, we are going to get z into z minus 1 divided by z plus 1 by 2 plus z divided by z plus 1. Z divided by z plus 1. Okay, z minus 1 has to be multiplied with these two functions. Here, with this multiplication, the z minus 1 and z minus 1 is going to be cancelled for this function. But for this function, it is going to be this. Here, we have to substitute the value of 1 in case of z. 1 minus 1 is 0. And here, 1 divided by 1 plus 1 by 2. That is 1 by 3 by 2. It is nothing but finally we are going to get the final value of y of z is 2 by 2. Y of z is equal to 2. Okay. So finally, the last problem we are going to discuss is find the initial value of the function f of z is equal to z into z minus cos omega t divided by z square minus 2z cos omega t plus, it is nothing but the z transform of the cos function, cos omega t. The z transformation of a function cos omega t. Okay, z into z minus cos omega t whole divided by z square minus 2z cos omega t plus. So we are supposed to calculate the initial value theorem for this. Initial value theorem for this function. Therefore, from the definition of the initial value theorem, f of 0 is equal to limit z tends to infinity f of 0. Limit z tends to infinity into f of 0. That is, limit z tends to infinity z into z minus cos omega t divided by z square minus 2z cos omega t plus 1. So just taking the values of z square as common values, we are going to get z square into 1 minus 1 by z into cos omega t whole divided by z square into 1 minus 2 by z cos omega t plus 1 by z square. Z tends to infinity means it is nothing but 1 by z tends to 0. So just substituting the values. Before that, cancelling this particular terms z square and z square, numerator and denominator, and placing 1 by z as 0, we are going to get 1 minus 0 into cos omega t divided by 1 minus 0 into cos omega t plus 0. It is nothing but 1 minus 0 whole divided by 1 minus 0 plus 0. It is therefore the value of initial value theorem of a function f of z, that is cos omega t, is 1. Is f of z value is, and this is the f of z value, the transform of a function cos omega. Cos omega. Okay, this is the initial value theorem and final value. Okay, these are the several problems which are asked repeatedly in your university question papers for 4 marks as well as for 2 marks also. 4 marks and 2 marks. Okay. So with this, we are going to round up the class for today. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.